Welcome to this week's episode of the Lads Film Thing podcast, where four friends discuss a film and generally have a good time. And be warned, there will be spoilers. So, we've got Lucy.
Good afternoon.
Abby.
Hi there.
This is me, Dan, and Sam.
Good afternoon.
So, this week, it's Christmas!
Woo!
We've all got mince pies,
Chocolate
Christmas
fingers.
jumpers, chocolate fingers.
One of the best types of finger.
It is Christmas.
Indeed.
I stand by it.
Okay. Between the four of us, we've chosen two Christmas films to feature over the next couple of weeks. So the first choice is Lucy and Sam's film. Do you guys want to tell us what it is?
We do. It is Spirited, the 2022 movie, directed by Sam.
It wasn't directed by me. It's directed by Sean Anders. It's a really good film. It is a modern twist on the Dickens Christmas Carol story, and it's a musical.
Which we love. And it's Christmas. Everyone needs a bit of singing at Christmas. Bit of Reynolds.
Anytime.
And Will Ferrell at Christmas.
Yeah.
And we'll Ferrell at Christmas, yes.
Who's featured heavily so far in the podcast.
That's
He
right.
has. This is his second outing.
Yeah.
More than anyone else?
So far.
No. Oh, no.
No.
George John David Washington.
George John.
George John David
And Ringo.
has also been filmed twice.
Yeah. That's...
Featured twice.
He's been filmed more than twice.
We are off to a cracker of a start, aren't we?
Oh, Christmas joke.
Dan said his box fizz early.
I would like to begin by asking if Ryan Reynolds is genuinely the most nicest person in the whole wide world.
I think so.
He's amazing. He's so likeable, even in this movie where he's the
Unlikable,
unredeemable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
too.
He's good.
nice.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen him in, I really like him. And I watched the Wrexham documentary. He seems really cool in that as well.
And that's him acting as himself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know it's true.
When I think although he probably had some involvement in editing that, it's still candid footage, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's good. Yeah, we can all agree.
Let's talk about that instead today, the Wrexham documentary.
It took me a while to realise what you said. I thought you said rectum. My little brain was trying to process.
It's encouraging everyone to go get checked.
It's heavily edited by himself, but it does show a lot of rectum.
That's his favourite finger.
No, wait. Oh, my.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Who
Yeah.
was it that filmed
It was somebody, wasn't
having a colonoscopy?
Yeah.
I feel like it was him for the other guy, for... what's his name? Rob McElhenney.
Yeah, it might have been. I remember seeing that, but I can't remember who it was.
Google, for the listeners at home, if you know who's had a colonoscopy on TV, please reach us know.
Please let Lucy know direct.
And please send me the link.
Just email colonoscopy at theladsfilmthing.com or the lads colonoscopy thing. That's our new.
That is not a thing.
Right, let's go on with the plot. Sam.
So the film opens with the redemption of Rose Byrne's character Karen. Amazing. And introduces us to the fact that for nearly 2 centuries, Jacob Marley and the ghosts of Christmas past, present and yet to come have led a team of afterlife spirits in helping find and redeem one human soul, or perp, every Christmas. And we get the first song, That Christmas Morning Feeling.
I loved that she was a Karen.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I
funny.
thought that was really good.
Yeah.
And then she was listing things that she did, wasn't she? That were Karen I'm sorry I shouted at the neighbours' kids when they did this.
Even though they did this.
Yeah.
I
it
was a
was
bit sad that she wasn't in it. That was it. I know she was back at the end, but I was like, "Oh, has this got Rose Byrne?" And then no, it didn't really.
And she's great.
Who is Rose Byrne? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, what
She's
is she
in Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
She's
Oh.
in X-Men. She's in
What's
Bad
that film?
Neighbours.
Yes, Bad
which
Neighbours.
you love.
I do love that film. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
Add it to the list.
Really good.
Let us know if you would like us to add Bad Neighbours to
One
the list.
or two.
One or is there two?
There are two, yeah.
And
Wow.
Yeah.
One and two.
Have you not seen either of
Loose?
them?
No.
I suppose you wouldn't see number 2. Yeah.
No, we wouldn't have seen two without one, but I don't think we've seen either.
So we know that Present Will Ferrell's character Present has been eligible for retirement for a few decades, but he hasn't yet done so.
And I love that scene because it's in the hall where they have all the statues of all the people that have been
Yes.
redeemed,
Oh,
and one of
yes.
them is Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Which just you want to pause it and see every single character.
Yeah,
on there,
yeah.
don't
Oh,
you?
I didn't see that.
I was
Yeah.
like, I want a statue.
It's so
That
amazing,
would be so
yeah.
good.
Dolly Parton as herself. Like
Yeah,
the
she's
actual-
Yeah.
she's like
Yeah.
one of the
Oh, right.
year's like souls that they've redeemed.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is also adorable because Dolly Parton's the best. She does
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that like reading.
Yeah.
Libraries.
Oh, I want to go back and
does.
see who else is there now.
Yeah, you really want to pause it.
Yeah.
Also, that's got the amazing line where he's like, "Oh, hi Margot, I was just avoiding you."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yes, understandable." And, sorry,
Yeah.
she's an amazing character because she says how she's got a tramp stamp on the front and back.
Oh, yeah. The front and back. Yeah, that was
That was like the most that I laughed actually out loud at a film that I've seen recently.
Oh,
I think I wrote that down as a note, actually.
What, to get one?
Yeah, to get one. Yeah, this Christmas. I'm going to get a tramp stamp on the front and back.
You have your home tattoo kit. We'll do it for you.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Jeez.
We could let us know if you want us to live on the podcast, I guess,
Yeah.
Okay.
because we will.
Stay tuned.
If enough
The lad's
people,
tramp stamp thing.
it also makes me think of Joe Exotic's ex-husband,
Oh, God.
Oh.
who has a tramp stamp on the front that says "Property of Joe Exotic."
oh, God.
And that was not the weirdest thing in that show.
No,
No.
Yeah. It should have been.
should
It
wasn't.
was not. No.
No.
Not by a long shot.
No.
So, when looking for next year's soul to redeem, the spirits encounter Clint Briggs, controversial media consultant. So, despite...
From
What?
Vancouver.
Oh, I'd missed that.
Yeah, I love Vancouver. It's got that shot, hasn't it? And it's like Vancouver, and then it had a shot of Vancouver,
Oh,
and I just love it
Did
so
it?
much. Yeah,
Oh.
and it made me think that it would be great if we could get sponsored by Vancouver.
oh.
Yeah, they are looking to.
If
yeah.
Vancouver is listening.
Yeah. Hi, Van.
Either John Vancouver or Mary Vancouver. Any of the Vancouvers, really.
Ryan Reynolds comes from Vancouver, doesn't
Well, that's what I mean. Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
himself.
And
Yeah.
we have already said how much we love Ryan Reynolds.
Exactly.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's genuine.
It
Yeah.
is.
We're not just saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 10 out of 10.
And I actually thought during this like music bit.
Song.
Yeah.
Let's not get technical. But
So I was thinking, like, I know he's the bad guy. He's unredeemable. He's clearly terrible. But is he actually that bad? I was thinking, like, from what he's saying, this is just business stuff. This is just corporate stuff.
That bit was fine.
Yeah, that.
It was when he was sabotaging people's career and
Yeah,
livelihoods.
that's
That
true.
was slightly worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. But during that bit, when like Present is saying like, "This is the one. This is the guy. He's terrible." I was like, "Oh, he's okay." And his outfit transitions. Did you see?
that was amazing.
Yeah, he's wearing this spangly gold suit, and I was like, "This is so much fun."
Yeah.
So I know he's singing about terrible things, but
Well,
I really enjoyed
that
it.
first bit I found kind of confusing.
oh really?
Like, because I still wasn't sure of the premise of, like, I know it's like a modern retelling of the Dickens thing, but I thought I didn't know how the spin was going to be, and I didn't know if he was going to end up just being a good character. Because, like you said, I was a bit like, oh, is he that bad at this point? Like, is
Yeah.
he going to then... Yeah, I don't know. I was a bit like, oh, I don't know which way this is going.
yeah.
And then it kind of carried on. It was like, oh, no, he is supposed to be the bad guy. And I was a bit like, oh, did I miss something? Did I don't know. I was just...
I think that just says more about you and Lucy than it does about anything. Like Sam and I, we were like, this guy is so terrible,
The absolute worst.
completely against our whole value system.
Yeah.
It's just not. We knew immediately, unlike you two.
He was singing about real Christmas trees.
Corporate hardballs.
Yeah, I'll say
Wow.
that. That could be considered a compliment, maybe.
Could be.
It was intended as such.
So yeah, I enjoyed that bit.
What is a corporate hardball? I hope I unwrap one of those on Christmas Day this year.
So Marley insists that Briggs isn't unredeemable and just isn't worth the time, and he's not going to waste the year trying to redeem him when it's just not happening. But Present is set on him as he believes that Clint's redemption could have a ripple effect and make him a force for positivity and humanity.
Yeah, because that was the frustration that the Karens of the world, the impact isn't big enough. So you need to go for somebody who is going to have a much bigger effect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
which
fair,
makes total
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
So as they get closer to Christmas, they visit Clint's office and they see him interacting with his niece Ren, who is going for class president, and he gives some terrible advice against slating Josh, her rival?
Yeah. Rival
candidate.
Yeah.
And then Kimberly, the amazing Octavia Spencer, does some digging and finds an old post from TikTok, which made me realise how old TikTok was at this point, which she posted from a few years ago, saying that feeding the homeless shelter was gross. Bad move, Josh. So Kimberly is conflicted about this, and she sings a song to let us know how conflicted she is. Very. And then this is the point where she sees Present outside her office.
Oh, which is adorable.
It's really nice, yeah.
Yeah, but hang on, can I just stop you here?
Yeah.
Windows. Again. Why? All these places have such like massive windows all the time. This guy's office.
I think it's
Like
also
windows.
to show that the studio could like afford a view for their shot.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I, sidebar, read about a toilet the other day.
This is going to be good.
It's going to be good. Which has got, those one-way mirror things.
Oh.
And it's in America somewhere, in some like random place, and it's in the middle of a square in a little
Oh, yes, I
town.
think I've seen this.
Have you? And so you can see out while you're in the toilet, and everybody else, when they're looking at the toilet, can just see mirrors.
Yeah.
So people can get really close and be like looking at themselves or looking
You'll be so
at the
paranoid
mirror,
that
and you'd just be in there like,
one-way toilet.
yeah.
There's ones in Japan which they're on the street, and they, as soon as you lock the door, they frost, so they're completely
yes, I think
see-through, and
I've
they
seen
will
those.
frost up as soon as you lock it. You'll just be paranoid and be like, lock the door 20 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's faulty. It's just going to like conk out while you're in there,
Yeah.
and suddenly you'll just be like sat there like thinking no one can see you, but actually we can all see you.
Yeah. It's a good way to see if it's actually empty, though.
Yeah,
True.
true.
Hmm.
And isn't Japan like the cleanest place in the whole wide world? Like you wouldn't have
Yeah.
to worry about like bits of toilet roll like stuck behind the toilet and stuff.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
That bit's so sweet when she sees him and he's suddenly like, oh, you can see me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know whether it makes much sense, but
I love their relationship, and when he photoshops himself in the picture,
Yeah.
it's so amazing.
And nothing like massive is said about it, is it? It's
Yeah.
just he is completely smitten with her, and it's adorable.
yeah, I do love that. That's great.
And in fact, I thought all the ghosts were amazing.
Yeah.
Like is it Yet to Come?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
Tracy
funny.
Morgan's, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's
Tracy
amazing.
Morgan is great anyway, isn't he?
Yeah.
But
Past,
all of them were good.
yeah, Pastor's excellent as well. Like she's,
Yeah.
I've not seen her in anything before.
Yeah, I don't think I
Sydney
have.
Manny, yeah, I don't know, but she's really funny.
Yeah.
she's
was
really
good.
And
Yeah.
I love the bit at the end of Yet to Come where it showed. Did you see it? There was like both of them, like the actual physical.
Oh,
actor
yeah,
and
yeah.
then him, and they were all like dressed up. Together.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I'm leaping ahead to like well, no, I won't.
No,
Carry on.
go on, you've interrupted, make it count.
No, so the next bit where she's fangirling over Ryan Reynolds, that bit was
Yeah.
so funny again.
Oh yeah, when she's like, "Tell me what his hair smells like."
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
But on that is why the horn goes incredibly wrong, because not only does he interrupt Marley's quite good song, to be fair, but then Past sleeps with him and decides that it's unethical to carry on with the haunt. So Present has to take over the majority of the night's activities. Not.
Just
The
get
haunt.
in there, okay? It's Ryan Reynolds.
We all would. He's a pass. He's a pass. But I thought these bits where he was interrupting Marley and like where it didn't go to plan with Past and things, I thought that was really good because obviously love the Dickens tale anyway, but it has been redone and redone like time after
so
time.
many times.
Yeah, it was good to be like, oh, actually this is going to be a bit different. Like it's already not going to plan. So I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Clint is resistant to pretty much every single thing they throw at him. He doesn't want to look at his important memories. He's just asking loads of questions about present rather than dealing with his own issues. And it makes for quite a good story.
It does make for quite a good story and present ideas for the kids. Invisible Puppy.
Oh, Sparky.
Invisible
No.
puppy. Oh god.
I wasn't invisible.
Yeah, disappear. Well, runaway puppy.
And at the end, they actually got a puppy on to go to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, as part of the haunt, Present decides to show Clint some of his own past, and that's where we get the massive twist that past was Ebenezer Scrooge when he was alive. And you get, I would say, the best song of the whole film, which is "Good Afternoon."
Yeah, which we need to pause and discuss in a lot of detail. Because first of all, their accents, both terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
Seeing as
Yes.
Will Ferrell is actually supposed to be Scrooge, then his accent is absolutely terrible. Ryan Reynolds isn't that bad, is it? But
it's a bit Dick Van Dyke.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. It's
Yeah.
in a good
Exactly.
tradition of American actors just doing terrible British
Yeah.
impressions.
Yeah.
Part of me thought that was maybe a little bit deliberate.
Well, the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell says, doesn't he, like, your accent's terrible. I can't remember what line
Yeah.
it is, but he's like, that accent.
Blows.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does say
So-
that.
In the re-encrapment.
Oh yeah, did they say reencrapment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
That's a
that.
great word. And Judi Dench appears in that song as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's horrible.
I thought that was the best song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
With the best line of "You smell of shite."
Yeah, which makes me laugh every time. And is
Yeah.
there the word which you don't hear very much? Wankerous.
Do you not hear it very much because it isn't a word?
I don't know, but yeah, I
It's-
guess so.
Yeah.
It's probably as much of a word as masterpiece ability.
Well, that's a good
Whoa,
point.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, maybe we need to add a wankerous score to the end.
Oh dear.
I don't know what that would entail.
Maybe we're reviewing the wrong films if we're adding that at the end.
Oh god, yeah.
You have no.
Oh dear.
Always take it too far. I'm just going to reel that back in. But I have got something that I feel is going to be unpopular with you two for this, which is I feel like there were some lines that were amazingly funny and some bits that were amazingly funny. And then sometimes they took like the joke too far. Like it would have been funny if they just left it alone. But then they like keep going on about it until you're like, we know, we got it. You called her Karen. Like if it was just that she was called Karen and that it didn't, but like 20 times they said, well, she was a Karen. You're like, we know, we're smart enough to
Yeah.
have got that that's what you
Yeah,
said at the
yeah.
I
beginning.
didn't even pick up that they repeated that too many times.
Really? Yeah. And like,
I
there
only
was a-
noticed it on the tombstone. I think that her name was Karen.
oh, really?
Yeah.
No, they say it.
Oh, do
Because
they?
I was like, if it was just on the tombstone,
Yeah.
that would be perfect. And obviously we had watched Young Frankenstein and there were so many times where there's like just something that one of us picked up and it was hilarious. But if you didn't see it, you just didn't see it and you
Yeah,
had to leave
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree in a way. Like, this is quite an over-the-top movie, isn't it? Everything's, like, in your face. Whereas, like, yeah, in some other movies, it is, like, blink and you miss it quite type thing.
Yeah.
Like, Dan, you were saying about in Young Frankenstein, those candles that weren't lit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to miss that sort of joke.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so funny when you do notice. I don't think there's any of that in this movie. It is
Yeah,
really,
there's no
like-
subtlety.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
That's kind of
This
what
is
I
it.
felt with the Good Afternoon joke. Like the song is good, but before that, he's like, I said, I bid you good afternoon or something, and the woman's like, oh, what a thing to say to a kid, and I was like, yeah, that's really funny.
yeah.
And then he's like, that was considered a insult back in this time, and blah blah blah. And then he explains it more, and I'm like, yeah, well, everyone knows that. Like that happens quite a lot in films where they're like, I bid you good day, and then
Yeah.
people are offended and stuff. And the woman had already given it the context by being offended on behalf of the kid.
yeah.
And I was just a bit like, this is unnecessarily like explaining it. The song was good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, the song
Yeah.
was still
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Although I do love it at the end when he gets out of the taxi and the driver's like, "Good afternoon," and he's like, "What did you say?"
yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
That's the thing. There were so many great lines and stuff that I was like, if you just left it, it would give us a lot
Yeah.
more credit as like because obviously we all like to, I don't know, feel like smart
Yeah,
for
part-
seeing something. Don't
part of
you?
a
And-
joke is that you're like, oh, I got that, I understood
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
when you have to explain the joke, it's just not funny to anyone
Yeah.
anymore.
Also, though, can we just talk about tap dancing?
I love tap
Yeah.
dancing so
Literally,
much.
everything is made so much better with a bit of tap. It was so good.
Yeah,
Bit of tap,
a
yeah.
bit of tap.
Yeah, and so they say
Yeah.
something like, it's a very expressive medium, or something,
Yeah.
which is funny.
And you guys know, you three, that I love choreographed.
Yeah.
Anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like
You do.
literally cannot not watch that.
Yeah.
From Backstreet Boys This.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know, I do love it. Yeah, it's so much fun, this bit. So, present shows Clint, like, the ideal happy family life, which is like a couple and a couple of kids in like a nice suburban house. And Clint is saying, like, this is his dream and not, well, this is Present's dream and not Clint's. So sort of like digging into the fact that actually Present is wanting more than what he's got and isn't really, this isn't actually what Clint wants for himself. So Present shows him what Ren's posted and how Joshua's reacted, and that's all going terribly. And then he finally gets Clint to relive his most painful memory.
Oh, can I just check in? Did the kid kill himself? Is that what happened?
He does in the future, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the yet to come, not the future, the yet to come.
The yet to come.
Oh, yeah.
Which I always thought was like a weird version, like past, present, yet to come, but that is the point, isn't it? It's not the
Yeah.
future, it's a
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah.
Then Present shows Clint, well, makes him relive the memory where his sister asked him to take Ren when she was going to die. And he said no.
Oh.
Which is a bit of a kicker, isn't it, when you want him to be
Well,
good.
but the right choice for that kid, though. Like, he was not, like, Owen was a much better parent figure than Clint.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
He had money, but nothing yet, like...
Yeah, but I guess the point was that if he had said yes, then he would have stepped up and been good.
But there was somebody
yeah.
else there who was already good.
Yeah, maybe.
It seems like a weird choice. Like, when you've got Owen and Clint there, you choose Owen every time.
Absolutely, but I wonder if was he supposed to be like kid-like himself? He was the younger brother, wasn't he? And I
He was
wonder
the
if
young-
he was
yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah.
like quite young in that bit, and he didn't seem to have his shit together very much
Yeah,
and stuff.
true.
So maybe
Yeah.
it was just that.
And the sister was saying, like, I can see how great you are underneath all this, like, corporate
Yeah.
BS. So maybe it's that she wanted to, like, bring out of him. And
Weird parenting decision. That I'm going to gamble my child's upbringing when they've lost their mum
Yeah,
on you
yeah.
maybe being good, but better than you are now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, you're not going to do
That's a
that.
big gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
If you were that mum, wouldn't you just be like, Owen, will you have my kid?
Yeah.
Clint, will you give
Will you pay-
$100,000 a year
Yeah, that's it.
to Owen for looking after
Yeah,
the kid?
exactly. Yeah.
That's
And
the
give
key.
them a respite like 2 weekends a
Yeah,
year. That's
it's-
all. Yeah.
that's all we need.
Yeah. But for the purposes of the plot, we'll go
Yeah,
with it,
no, we'll go with it.
I'm good with it. It's fine.
So after reliving that scene or memory, that's when they're going to look at the Christmas is yet to come. But then Marley comes along, and this is when Present takes his retirement,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
Oh,
And then becomes a real boy, like the classic Pinocchio story. I think this is based on. And then there is the Christmas party at Clint's apartment.
Yes. And there's a guy dressed as Elf.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
that's
That
so
was
funny.
excellent.
And doesn't Will Ferrell's character, he's like, you look ridiculous.
Yeah. But there's so much of this movie that doesn't make any sense. Like, he was alive, and then you have to be a ghost for a bit, and then if you're that good, then you can be alive again.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
what do you do? Where do you go? It just
Yeah,
there's
a
lot of-
never-ending repetition, and nobody's
Yeah.
questioning why these old people are like. Surely,
Are just
like, a
popping up.
99-year-old can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he, like, when he
exactly.
was Scrooge, he was old, though.
Yeah.
And then he's come back as, like, a
Oh, I assumed that was
55-year-old
just
or
like
something.
a
Oh,
good
yeah, true.
moisturising routine. Like, I thought it was supposed to be the same age. to be
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
And
the
it was back
1900s
in,
or
so
the 18,
he could have
whatever.
been like 18 at that
Yeah.
point.
True.
probably.
But also, it's the same. Like, why have they chosen Clint or Karen or whatever? And he even says in it, like, out of all the murderers and all like the criminals in the world,
Yeah.
why have you chosen me? And that is a good point.
Yeah.
Like,
How it had to be somebody that could sing.
yeah.
True.
That, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He had to
Yes.
match Will Ferrell in height, roughly,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
kind
Play off
of
each other
for
quite
balance.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite colour's red. To Will Ferrell's green. This is right. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yep. So then the ghost of Christmas is yet to come then takes Clint to show him what happens as a result of the video being posted and Joshua committing suicide, which understandably devastates Clint, and he just runs away, but then gets trapped and sees his grave, him dying at his desk, and all that stuff
yeah.
we expect from A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But then he tries to get back to his apartment and to stop Ren from posting the video now in the present, which is good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously he is a good guy. That's the thing. Like the theme throughout is like, yeah, he does crappy stuff, but fundamentally, he's a good guy, or he does good stuff as well. And obviously, no one would want a kid to die.
I mean, he knows right and wrong. He just
Yeah.
is choosing wrong a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I suppose is probably what most people that choose wrong do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not without heart. He just wants nice things. So then starts the race against time to stop Ren from posting the video, and they are skating on top of a skyscraper,
Oh yeah.
which is fine. Yep. So Kimberly's there and gets in the way, but she's already done the right thing and told her not to do it, and then quits her
Yay.
job.
Yeah, because we love Kimberly.
I know, she's so good.
Yeah,
I feel like we
she's
haven't spoken about her enough, but I don't know
Yeah.
what else to
Yeah.
say. She's
yeah,
great.
no, she's really, really good.
She's adorable.
Yeah,
She's a really good character in the same way that like Rod in Get Out is a really good character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just kind of is there in like the second tier and just kind of makes you just appreciate them being there.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
and is the most like us or what a
Yeah,
normal
yeah.
person in that
Yeah.
situation would be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she essentially saves the day here because we think like he gets there and he's like, like get off me. He's like on the floor.
Yeah.
I need to get over to Ren, and then he's like, she's posted it, but actually, she's already gotten there first. So she's the real hero here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was never in any question.
But would that have happened if she hadn't have had like her date with Present and
Yeah.
stuff anyway?
Oh,
Because it
yeah.
wasn't in the yet to come before that happened, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
True.
Yeah, and I suppose she had made bad choices as well, hadn't she? Where she like previously had been digging up all this dirt on people and was like feeling terrible about it, but still doing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
was finally like, I've had enough. So, little character arc for her
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
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 Good for her.
And yet the film was about the white man. But the white man was Ryan Reynolds, so
Yeah, the film is about the white man, but it's the black woman who saves the day.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. After interacting with the other white man.
Yeah, exactly. Who ultimately caused her to do the right thing, but but is he the funniest? I don't think so.
Who? Will Ferrell in this film.
Out of the three ghosts,
I'd say second funniest.
Who's the first funny son? Tracy Morgan.
no, the past.
Past. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh right.
I would say.
She's definitely my favourite.
She's definitely
of the
funniest.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my
Yeah.
favourite.
I think Will Ferrell was funnier here potentially than Anchorman because it's less. I don't know. Anchorman is very much like joke.
Yeah.
Whereas even though like some of these were overdone, they were more sincere and like less in your face jokes and stuff this time, which
Yeah.
was a bit nicer to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt like he was very like involved in it. There was a very clear story,
Yeah.
which I guess is because it was A Christmas Carol.
Well, yeah, it was
But,
Anchorman
like-
was a sketch trying to be forced
Yeah,
into a
trying to
film.
be
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But this is the point where Present then gets upset that they don't have that freeze frame where all the ghosts come out and congratulate Clint for being
which is
redeemed because he
actually a
hasn't
really good
been.
bit.
Yeah, it's good technology there. Like, using it all. Then he's so despondent of the fact that he hasn't been redeemed that he runs away and ends up running into the road to try and get
Yeah.
back to his ghostly career.
Oh yes, that's right. Because he's like, it shouldn't be this way. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go sort it out.
But little did he know that Clint was going to jump in front of the bus and save him.
yeah,
Yeah.
redeeming
Self-sacrifice,
himself.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
that's a
didn't-
great bit.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think
No.
he would do that.
Yeah.
I've written he's the GCP.
GCPD.
I don't know what that means.
Goes to Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you were going for like Gotham.
Yeah, I was thinking Gotham City.
GCPD.
But isn't this where before he gets hit? Is this not the bit where he's saying that there is no like good people, bad people? It is all just like what choices you make, and
Yeah, I'm going to have
Yeah.
a good day.
every day you just make your decisions and you are what you choose basically,
Yeah.
which is good. And I liked
Yeah.
that.
It's quite
'cause-
realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, and quite refreshing to see this take on it rather than just like
Yeah.
Scrooge was terrible and now he's good. It is different for everyone.
Yeah.
Depending on what your day brings.
And that was such an interesting thing where he was like, anyone can be good for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
When he was saying about it to Scrooge or Present.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I was like, oh yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
You literally only see the like immediate bit after where they're like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Then in like 3 months, is that Karen just back to being a Karen?
Which I guess is
Yeah.
part of why he always felt unredeemable, Present, because he never
Yeah.
really had a long enough life afterwards to prove he was
to,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, but here's a good message about labels. Don't tell someone they're unredeemable. It'll
Yeah.
affect their self-esteem and
'Cause-
make them worry about themselves.
Yeah,
forever.
true.
Yeah.
And they'll never try. Like, if you
Yeah.
say I'm unredeemable, I'm going to be fucked if I'm trying to be a better person as well.
Less likely to be redeemed. Fine, there's still hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Potential.
fine.
Yeah.
Needs improvement. So if you can work on yourself, you'll be right.
This sounds like an Ofsted inspection.
I don't want to go to the school that's unredeemable.
Yeah.
And there are some around.
Meets expectations.
That'll do.
Yeah, that's all
that
you
was
can ask,
the
isn't it?
highest one. Yeah.
Good enough.
But then after another amazing song in the snow,
With the
time-
sister.
with the sister
Yeah.
there, yeah. No, that's not with the sister.
Oh, she turns up there, doesn't she?
Not
No,
just
he's
yet.
he's still alive in this frozen time
Oh,
bit, isn't he?
yeah.
Well, this
Okay.
is like an out of reality moment, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
freeze frame except like all the ghosts.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, that's fine. But then time unfreezes and he gets walloped by a bus with no hope of saving.
Yeah.
Which is, again, like a really good way of doing it. Like, you're redeemed, but you're dead.
Yeah.
Like,
It did make sense, didn't it? To be like, it doesn't count if there's no consequence. If you're just gonna like go ahead and live the rest of your life.
yeah, it wasn't really a sacrifice.
Yeah.
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 Although it would have been, wouldn't it? Because he didn't know that was going to happen.
True.
Like he did genuinely jump in front of a bus
Yeah.
and would have died if there wasn't like magic ghosts involved. But still.
And then the twist that he becomes the new ghost of Christmas Present. I really like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really
And
good.
it made a lot of sense.
It made a lot of sense, and also it wasn't just like this has happened and he is the exact same character as Will Ferrell. It was that he was his own version of that,
Yeah.
and that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought his like corporate energy and that getting things done attitude
Yeah.
to the
And arguably,
Before.
like, probably better at the job, like, if we're honest.
Well,
Because
yeah, it's like. Oh, sorry.
I say Scrooge wasn't like, didn't have the real CV to do the Ghost of Christmas Present. He was just a terrible, was he a
Yeah.
landlord back in the day?
Yeah, well, like
yeah.
financier.
Yeah.
But certainly not in the people side of
Yeah,
business.
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, that's true. But it was like, it reminded me a little bit of Monsters Inc. You know, like at the end where instead of collecting screams, they're now collecting laughing. And they've got
Oh,
like
yeah.
bigger canisters and they're like,
Yeah.
we've got loads
Yeah.
of energy. Now it's like, oh, instead of one redeemable or unredeemable, we've got loads. And like, he like really expanded it and like ripples.
Yeah.
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 And that was
Yes.
exactly what Present was saying
Yeah.
all the way through, was that if we go for this guy, there will be more ripples than ever
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
And he had no idea,
Yeah.
because actually it was massively massive.
Yeah, but saying that it made a lot of sense, I do agree with. However, it clearly makes no sense whatsoever. Because like now he's like shacked up with the Ghost of Christmas Past, and she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"I'll see you tonight when I get home." It's like, okay, where? What home?
Yeah,
And how's
what's
this
happening here?
Yeah, and then going back to visit Will Ferrell now with his new family.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I loved watching it all, and it's like that is what I need to see at that point. But
Yeah,
none of this makes any sense.
that's the thing. It was just ultimately feel good,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, it doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that bit at the end where, you know, he becomes the new ghost and that whole thing. Like before that point, I was getting not bored, but like it just seemed like that middle bit of it going on for quite a while. Of it's now his turn. Now, you know, Will Ferrell's showing his backstory, then blah blah blah, and is he going to be redeemed? Blah blah blah. That was going on like quite a long time, and then it clicked, and like that whole magic and Christmas thing was back in. And it was like the feel good stuff was back, and I was just hooked again for that last bit. That was
Yeah,
perfect how
Yeah.
it ended, I think, for me.
Yeah.
I love that.
I agree. Actually, it's like satisfying ending, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
this has all worked out, even though it's sad.
That's the whole point of A Christmas Carol, isn't it? You watch a lot of the film for that bit at the end,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
last bit.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
Because some Christmas Carol films, like, they do get quite long and boring, but you know that the
Yeah.
Christmas Day morning is coming.
Yeah.
What day is it? Is it still Christmas
Yeah.
Day? You boy. Oh, sorry.
Was that Michael Caine's?
Go and grab the turkey.
please do the whole thing.
Probably the Muppet version. Yeah. Should we just talk about our favourite versions of the
I
Christmas?
say, so
Carol?
this is the second musical Christmas Carol,
Yeah.
or at least second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Muppets. Have you guys seen the Muppets Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
We've watched it many times with them. And we discuss it.
I think
most
so.
Christmas
Yeah, I
Carol.
think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
What's our favourite Christmas Carol? I'm gonna chuck it out there and say I'm not in love with the story generally.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not my ideal Christmas film to watch at Christmas, I think. are more like Alf, and I suppose this one I would
This
watch
would
this
get
one.
into the rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not very Christmassy, is it really? Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Not
a bit sad. Oh, not sad, but like, yeah, just downbeat, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Muppets one is good though. I do like that one.
No, it is. It's quite a slow burn. But
Yeah.
I like it just for the last bit. Like
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
good.
What about the Bill Murray version? Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, Scrooge.
No,
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that one time, I think.
Okay.
really.
There's was it the Jim Carrey, the CG Disney version.
Oh yes, I forgot about that one. That's a really good one too.
I don't think I've seen that.
That is like
I haven't seen that either.
That's just like a bog standard one, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there's no variation of it. It's just a story.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's animated. So.
Yeah.
Let us know what your favourite version of The
yeah.
Christmas Carol
Oh yeah,
is
that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
on our social media channels.
I remember as a kid watching a Ross Kemp TV series version. That was quite good.
Oh my
That's still
God.
Please, somebody find that and send it to us.
Ross Kemp, if you're listening, we now speak directly to you.
And what was it? There was a Guy Pearce one on BBC
So
a
we
few
did
years
watch
ago.
that
That was really good.
recently, yeah.
How many have you seen?
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Pretty-
At
I've
least
seen,
every
like,
year
one
we'll watch-
version.
Every year we will watch a Christmas Carol on
Oh, yeah.
some variety.
Yeah.
We read the book.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
we
didn't
read
we?
it
Yeah.
together. We
Yeah, we
literally
did.
read it out to each other.
That's so sweet.
Oh, that's
Wow.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's time to do some Christmas film scores. As usual, it is 3 categories of enjoyability, shareability, and masterpiece ability, with a total of 5. 4 lads, 3 categories, 5 points, total of 60. Let's start with enjoyability. Liz.
Simple.
A 4.5.
Nice. Ab.
3.5.
Dan.
3.
And I went for a 5. That's right.
Oh,
Go on. You
I'll
go
kick this
first.
off because I went for the most generous.
yeah.
I watched this last Christmas, and because I knew it was coming up, I was really excited to watch it again because I just knew it was a really good evening. The songs are really cool. It's funny. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
As a Christmas film goes, ticked every box.
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely.
Dan, you went the other end with a 3.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, I did enjoy it. I think there was just, like I was saying, that bit in the middle where I kind of thought maybe it could just have been a bit quicker. But then when it kicks in at the end, I loved it again. But it's like over 2 hours, isn't it? The film, I think.
Yeah.
2 hours, 10 minutes, something like that. Maybe could have been a bit more edited. Possibly.
And I think, to be fair, when you know a Christmas Carol, you're like, okay, we've got to
Yeah.
get through another 2
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Because anytime I know what's happening in a film, even if it's really enjoyable, I can't help but tick it off in my head, and it feels like it's longer than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I wish it was a bit more festive, like a bit more Christmassy. Like there's no like Christmas morning, or there's no like.
It's not one present,
Yeah.
which isn't what
that's
Christmas
true.
is about. But
Actually,
But
it is so much
Bring
about
on the presents.
Yeah.
he's the ghost of Christmas presents.
I know, where are they?
it is so much about the redemption and the idea of like who he is and everything, and like the actions that he's doing. There's not actually much Christmas about it.
Yeah, no generosity.
There's no
or-
Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
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 There's no
Oh, and
presents.
there's a shitty meatloaf in one of the scenes.
Oh.
God, yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's very weird, actually, now you say it. There's a bit, obviously, where he's dressed up like a cool Santa, isn't there, with that red
Yeah.
jacket on and
Yeah.
stuff. But,
Yeah, but even that is tenuous, isn't it? Like,
oh, yeah.
it wouldn't.
yeah.
If you didn't know that was supposed to be cool Santa, you wouldn't necessarily know.
And
Just
there's,
a cool red jacket that
yeah,
you could wear all year round.
yeah.
Which
And,
expensive as well. No? Yeah, we not restrict that to Christmas.
For sure,
Yeah.
you want to wear that at least 5 more
Absolutely.
times.
Yeah,
and there is that bit where they're like, oh, he's invited us all to his party on Christmas Eve. Like, that's a dick move.
Oh yeah, who
They,
does that?
they mention that, but the party itself, everyone is kind of dressed up. It's not super Christmassy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess the next day is Christmas Day, but there's not much Christmas morning stuff.
But is that true of a Christmas Carol generally?
Yeah, there's usually like a Christmas present where like they'll go to like Bob's
True.
house. They're all
Oh,
sat
yeah.
around on Christmas Day.
Some
Tiny
snowball
tin.
chucking.
Yeah, and like, oh, we hate Scrooge, he's a dick. And
Yeah.
they're all having like turkey and there's a tree and like,
Yeah,
it's Christmas
true.
Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There wasn't really
Yeah.
any of that. So that's why it lost a 0.5
Oh.
for me.
That's fair.
Oof.
yeah.
Shareability. Ad, what did you go for?
A 3.
Dan, what did you go for?
2.5.
Luce, what did you go for?
4.
And I went for a 3. Luce?
Yeah, I love it. My only down thing is that I know some people don't like musicals, so maybe that would just make me.
Sounds
not
like what I
it.
said to you earlier about what I was going to say.
No,
You go
similar.
first, and that's my reason.
Ab, you went for a 3.
I mean, now I'm about to give my reason. I probably would mark it slightly lower because there's 11 months of the year that you can't share this easily.
That's a good point.
So actually, like, it is cut off, like you say, by a group of people who wouldn't like the musical side of it. It's kind of quite like obvious in its humour, and then also it's Christmas. So yeah, you can't share it most of the year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Dan?
Thanks.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. I think what I was thinking of here was, I think there's just other Christmas films ahead of this that I would want to talk to people about. Like, I know everybody has seen Elf and that, but at work, after going back after the new year, oh, did you watch this? Oh yeah, I watched Elf. That's my favourite. That's the kind of I would always. There's other films I would talk about ahead of this one. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So the last category is masterpiece ability. Dan, what did you go for?
I went for a 3.
Cool. Ab?
3.
Luz?
3.5.
I also went for a 3.5. So we're all pretty much in agreement there. And I think what I needed to remember for this one was a straight to TV to streaming movie. So this wasn't a cinema release or anything. So I thought, based on that, it was actually pretty good in scale, like big songs, like
Yeah.
a decent amount of money looked to be spent on it.
Yeah, it had a good cast. It had some not bad like special effects actually, considering
They
that.
threw
And
snow in
yeah.
the air.
yeah,
Those outfit transitions.
Yes.
yeah,
That bit was great.
Yeah.
yeah.
And even especially on that scene when they go up and the tables have made a Christmas tree. That was
Yeah.
really cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very like, it felt big, didn't it?
Yeah.
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 It's funny because on the cast as well, like I thought the same. It's a really good cast, but when you look at the cast list, it's got like less than half a dozen really good people, and then people that aren't as well known. So they've spent a lot of money on a few people, which is probably about right.
Probably the way
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
it, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But I do wonder if it had a different cast, whether it would do as well. Like
No,
if it was
probably not.
unknowns. Yeah, exactly. So probably that's what gave it my score. Is that I really loved it, but I do think it's like brought to life by the cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like it's an old story, sort of rehashed, which obviously I love the old story anyway, but it did feel just like another take on the same old story, but still love it.
I think, like you said, it doesn't 100% make sense. So that's the other bit that probably has to like factor in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is
I imagine any Christmas film probably lacks a bit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sense. Yeah. When the old man who worked in the market actually turns out to be Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what? He's not.
Yeah.
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 Like such
so-
snoring.
So that gives Spirited a total score of 41.5 out of 60, which I think puts it just about middle.
Just
in
about
our
middle.
rankings?
Yeah.
Probably around Young Frankenstein,
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
if I had to think off the top of my head anyway.
Thank you for coming along to this week's Lads Film Thing and joining us where we discussed Spirited.
We would love to know what you thought about it too. Did you find it as festive as we did, and does it enter your Christmas film rotation? Let us know on our Twitter or Instagram. Find the details in our description. So, if you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please leave us a rating and review.
5-star preferably.
And don't forget, share with your own lads.
And share it with anyone, really.
But not anyone unredeemable.
So, grab your popcorn.
Round up your lads.
Get watching!
And join us next week.
Bye.
And so we've got 2 Christmas films coming up, and we split the group in half, and each half has chosen a Christmas film.
happening
Could not have explained that better.